Hello everybody and welcome to this next Field of Glory 2 tournament, the Rise of Carthage comparison. So here we are today. We're going to be looking at the two factions in the round, the third round of the tournament. So this is the first Punic War, but this is the setup between the Roman Carthaginian fight. So this Carthaginian list is 262 to 236, and the Roman is 220 to 280, and the terrain type when we do play it on the tournament will be Mediterranean. So we're going to have a quick look at the forces and see what we like. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, click that like, subscribe button, go find a look at this game on Sliver Insight, but also for myself, the Richard Yorke on YouTube. So without further ado, let's have a look. So let me just make sure I turn hot seat on so we can actually go to the other side. So we're going to have a quick look at the Roman breakdown forces to see what they're on here. So let's have a look. So as we've looked for the last couple of rounds, we've noticed that some lists are favourable for the cavalry, some aren't. So as you can see here, the Roman list currently has 2 units of armoured cavalry, and if we were able just to switch to the of course the Carthaginian list, as you can see there is a choice of 3 elephants and 2 a veteran and 1 armoured cavalry unit. So the Romans starting off with a negative on their cavalry forces here. If you were the Roman player, you would have to choose these both cavalry units. I don't think there's any way around that. I think being out cavalried or outflanked by the Carthaginian elephants, but also remember the elephants disordering the cavalry, but also taking advantage here. So we're going to have a look at the next units. So as you can see, the backbone of this Roman list is the veteran Hastati principles, and I've got to say these units are killer. Very, very good. They're expensive at 78 points, but if we have a quick look at the Carthaginian list, the best kind of infantry they have are, of course, warband or African spearmen. There's no veteran African spearmen in the Carthaginian list. So impact and swordsman, you would be silly not to take any of these Roman units in this third round of the tournament. As you can see, the veterans are 78 points with heavy foot, superior, armoured. The POAs just are massive there. They are going to hit, they are going to hurt, and you've got to be a very smart Carthaginian player to hide on the terrain and use this medium foot and heavy foot in that comparison. But also the Carthaginian player will have to use the elephants and the cavalry to some advantage here. So this just brings us down to the rank and file of the Roman army, the Stati principles. These are 61 points. They are expensive. Some armour, above average, heavy foot, impact swordsman. They are not as good as the veterans, but they are really good. That for 61 points, it is pricey for that unit type, and you can have up to 8 of them if you wanted to. But remember, as we've seen, the Carthaginian list has a good array of cavalry and elephants, but also, as we've seen before in the previous rounds and other lists, it's the light troops. As you can see, the Carthaginian list can have up to 5 light javelins and up to 5 light javelin infantry and slingers, and unfortunately the Roman can only have 8 javelin and 1 slingers. So a little bit of mixed bag. This army may be small, but it's very much elite. I don't think at this point in time I would choose any more Hastati principles. I think having the 3 veterans, 4 of the general Hastati principles is, but we come down to by far my favourite Roman units, the Triarii, the veteran legions with spear. If you need anti-cavalry action for a Roman list, this is what it is. You don't use your cavalry, you use Triarii to block in. They may be slow, they are superior, armoured, but another disadvantage to this unit is it's a small unit. If it gets caught up in against a huge body of men like an enemy warband, which the Carthaginian list does have, will make it very difficult to hold your own against them. This is what I worry about from this, but I would not hesitate to have a combination of at least 2 excuse me, of the 2 Triarii units combined with your cavalry on an for the anti-cavalry, anti-Carthaginian cavalry action there. As you can see, we've got a nice little list here, and of course we've got 167. Depending on the battlefield is depending if you will choose more medium troops. If it is a more open battlefield, which we'll see in a couple of weeks' time, if it's open field, you will just go all heavies, and then you'll just max out as many javelin troops. The target and the plan for the Roman player will be to disorder the elephants straight away. The Carthaginian list here straight away does. If I was the Carthaginian player, I probably would choose all of the elephants, combination of the warband, and have them in the midline to really try and outflank us. So the Roman list does not have a massive amount of troops there. The Carthaginian player can use numbers, but all them elephants in a good mix of troop. But depending, it's all going to be terrain. If it's open, the Carthaginian player is going to struggle. He's going to have to max out his units to overwhelm the Roman player. But also, if it's a hilly, I think, what map are we playing? We just flick to the thing. It is Mediterranean agricultural. Sorry. So we are going to be fighting in some obstacles, maybe trees. It's going to be interesting. So what we're going to do, we're just going to select, and then we'll come down to the Italian foot, which of course we've seen before in the previous rounds on both nations, the Carthaginian, but also Verific and other ones. So we've got medium foot. We've got, of course, the raw leaders here that I don't think I'll take them. They're too bad. They're too bad to take, especially the raw and protected. Even the Histati principals have some armour. And then we come down to the javelins and, of course, the slingers, which is a good to have a mix of all them units. So 23 points. I need to add this up properly next time to do it better. 47 points would probably be, you see, 60 points there. I think not having the light troops to fight his light troops is a massive disadvantage here. So as many as you could get, I probably could do a better combination there, but we'll leave that as it is. So look at the units, solid Roman list. It will all depending on terrain if you go more heavies, because currently we have all heavy troops. Triarii for anti-cavalry action, mixed in with our cavalry. We also have the Astarte and the veteran principals to go in there and absolutely just hammer them senseless. We don't really need to do the battle groups because it's just a look at it. But it's a good list, but it can get outnumbered. It can get demaneuvered if the Carthaginian player is playing at his best. And I didn't click the hot seat in time. My fault. So we'll just go back to the main menu and go back to that. Sorry, guys. We'll just click back to that. I'm sure I didn't accept the hot seat in that game, so we'll just do it here. So but yeah, look at the Roman list. Pretty solid. I'm very scared of the Roman side to that. Let's make sure my hot seat's turned on. Yeah. So there we go. Now we're going to look at the Carthaginian list. So an interesting mix. It's changed throughout this tournament and the rounds. So as we said before, we're just looking at the list, what combinations are good. But like I said, Linton, if you got anything to say below, just type a comment below. Be interested to see your thoughts and things to it. So as we're going to start at the top. Believing elephants are amazing. Elephants supported will really dish damage out, but unfortunately if you let them get hit by lots of range fire, they will just be decimated and they'll send you packing. So as you can see, disorder your cavalry, so make sure when you're deploying them, you're not deploying them next to your cavalry, but also if you can try to engage them so they're hitting the enemy cavalry, that's always good. But remember, I think the Roman list does have armoured cavalry, so that cavalry is more likely to evade and not take you on here. So then we come down to the veteran armoured and armoured noble cavalry, 2 decent units, so we could actually have 5 in total there. But depending on the battlefield and what terrain type, if it's an open field, these 3 elephants will be going straight down the centre, probably like this, or some different. And I'd probably even want to put the bombard of the, what do you call it, the warbands there. That's what we want to do, is have the warband combination mixed together to hit impacts. As you can see there, they've got no capabilities. I don't know if we can click. There we go. We can actually see the POA. So elephants just get an extra 250 POA for the hit. Extra modifier, enemy unit equation test for impact combat against elephants. So we want to hit them hard. But of course the thing. But like I said before, it's the disorder when we get hit by ranged fire here. So as you can see, we've got the veteran armoured there. We've got tons of cavalry, so we could particularly outmaneuver the Roman forces here with the amount of cavalry we have. But I'll leave that to you. I'm tempted to go a mix of foot because, like I said, all terrain options, if the terrain is hilly and rough terrain and we can actually get an advantage on a hill, it's always going to be good, because like I know this is the change map from what we started off. Here would be brilliant to have lots of Spanish or any medium troops there to hold the line. So we're going to look here. So we've got down to noble cavalry and also plenty of light javelin. So if we wanted to decimate the Roman player, we could just get loads of these, send them out as cavalry, really hurt them bad, take that advantage straight away off the field. But remember, a good Roman player would be having terrii blocking them flanks. They are perfect at doing that. As you can see, we are actually able to use a heavy artillery, which I don't think is applicable here yet again. I can't see a point to it in this position. Of course, their warband glass hammers, use them in the right position against the Sartai principles, they may hold up, but of course their quality here would probably be affected. I think it's just they're average and protected, and the Romans are better, but the impact is good, and I think they are swordsmen. So just to get POA versus any mounted there, plus 100 POA foot unless they're steady offensive spearmen. So swings roundabouts there. Then we come down to the backbone of this list is of course the the African spearmen, which are a solid unit. Given the right POAs of the hill, they will do pretty well, and that's the POAs you want really. As you can see, we're offensive spearmen plus PO against any troops unless spearmen charging at mounted shock troops. So you sit these on a hill, they'll do you proud for a couple of turns. They really will. And as we come down to the heavy spearmen of the pike phalanx for the hoplites, just a good unit as well, really good units. And then coming down to the lightly equipped spearmen, like I said, using these in combination with I would preferably go with the medium spearmen because the offensive, but at the same time the Spanish with the impact foot, it's a mixed bag there for the same kind of points, because when you think about it, the Spanish do have a better abilities being impact and swordsman, but the spearmen have just offensive spearmen. So it's an interesting combination what you would want there. Then we go down to Italian foot and the Phoenician style foot, which are light spear. I can't remember what light spear gives you again. Light spear versus any unless light, so you get just a plus 100 POA there. Still mixed bag really. And Lugigan foot, and of course we are able to get quite a large quantity. As you can see here, we have a large quantity of light troops that could really severely damage the Roman line if used it correctly and not being engaged too close to their line. You could hammer them before they get anywhere. So the Carthaginian list is providing terrain. They can either go two ways. You go defensive on terrain or aggressive, I think, with good warbands and elephants, but you don't want to get these shot up. But also you could really anti-cavalry him to death. You could, like the Battle of Cannae, you could just pile up the cavalry here, which I'm tempted to do because it's a lot of points. It's a lot of points for this list. That's 6 units of cavalry, 3 elephants, steady infantry, also all the light cavalry we've got here. I think it's going to cause some major problems for the Roman player. Their own player is going to have to react very defensively or very aggressively to just defeat you straight off the bat before you shoot them up, because to be honest, that is a scary list at the moment which I'm producing there, and that is just off the bat straight away. So we could even go another, and then if we wanted to, we could just go even more mercenary hoplites. But like I said, combination, it is nice to have some things left in defense, just in case they do break from our line. So I'm tempted. This is a good list. I like it. 6 units of cavalry, 3 elephants, 2 warbands, African spearmen, mercenary hoplites, and a ton of light infantry that could decimate the Roman list. He can't bring the light troops. He can bring the light javelins, but not the slingers, not the archers. Sorry, just the slingers we've got, and we've got more, and we've got the cavalry as well. So when you think about it, our cavalry could do 2 functions. It can be anti-skirmish line, but also flanking the outflankers. But of course, terrain been all permitting this. But it is an exciting list. This is the first Punic Wars against the Romans. Classic setup, and of course you could put a general there, make his own subgroup there, so he gets all them bonuses. Oh, there's actually my C&C there already. So there'll be, and that is nasty, and I feel quite cheesy doing that, but that will be bringing the pain train to the Romans. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of a comparison. It's two tough lists here. They both bring some really good advantages with lights and cavalry, but the Carthaginians have got a lot going for them in this setup. But it all falls down to the dice, and also the terrain is going to be a massive factor. This could be a bad list on a very hilly, rough terrain map, but also the Romans can't bring that many light troops that could intervene to this game, and we can. But I like this list. If we play an open game where I can actually sit and think, probably will select this list of some description. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to click that like, subscribe button, follow Slytherin and follow Field of Glory 2 for the next round coming up tomorrow. And we'll catch you later, ladies and gentlemen. And bye-bye.